back to the people,
Mm-hmm.
right? And the position you in, your gratitude triggers you to want to do something. Reciprocity. Think about that. Gratitude triggered the reciprocity. When we doing this, we looking at a march to freedom as a relay race. And when the elders come, we get the rub from the elders. They feel you out, say a couple things, see if you what triggers you. Can you hold your composure under the grill and the questions about what you saying? You know, and each one of the elders, right, sign off on you. That's how you get your next level in the culture. That's different from how you go to the university and you get a diploma and you got a piece of paper, right? Once you then got the rub from the elder, that supersedes that paperwork because it's coming from the community. It ain't coming from the um the establishment. Franz Fanon once wrote, "Establishment to maintain its control
Mm-hmm.
will also kill you."
Mm. Mm.
So if
Mm.
they can't control you, Malcolm X, Maurice Bishop, Martin Luther King, Clarence 13X,
Mm-hmm.
then the ones that they don't tell you they kill, Yahweh be Yahweh.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You know,
Mm-hmm.
um, it's just so many of them. I can't even name them all,
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
and they kill us in violation of the contract.
Mm.
So they don't want that person passing the baton to the next generation. This is what we was just doing. So we're going over the culture. We
Mm-hmm.
examining the reciprocity,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Mm-hmm.
And like I say, I don't charge because all of the knowledge I got was paid for by my brother and sister buying me books,
Mm-hmm.
right? And then I put in the sweat equity myself so I can give it back. You've got more eyes on the problem than we ever had. Because now we got the elders, we got the middle elders, the new elders, which I am,
Mm-hmm.
right? Then we got the youth that's coming up that's been in this path like you,
Mm-hmm.
right? And like you say, when you was 20 years old, you know what I'm saying, you was digging in your pocket for the cause. That's gratitude.
Mm-hmm.
Gratitude is the only thing that's going to make you do that unsolicited,
Mm-hmm.
right? And make you not regret doing it later. You got to
Mm-hmm.
come from a place of gratitude. Gratitude broadens the love bandwidth,
It's
right?
facts.
Once that bandwidth is broadened and that reciprocity makes it become a two-way channel instead of a one-way channel. You have to understand the basic understanding of the alchemy of it.
Mm-hmm.
The
Mm-hmm.
ones who understand the alchemy of it show they gratitude. This is a priest not supposed to solicit the people for donations, but the donations can be accepted out of the place of gratitude on both sides.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what keep that channel open. And that's why they say, why would I worry about what I'm going to eat or where I'm gonna rest when the birds don't worry about what they gonna eat or where they gonna rest.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Nature provides.
Mm-hmm.
In the human arena, the freely giving up something that you acquired through sweat equity, it's gonna have a triggering effect on the gratitude of the people that's getting the information to reply with reciprocity. I like what that brother said. No, I'm gonna send him a little something. You know, it's it's just the culture. That's how we are. That's how you know when we in the right environments because we get the right reciprocity. And that shows in all of us at different points because we got to know where we at in the game. You couldn't do what you do if you didn't know where you were supposed to be in the game.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You got a particular set of skills and a particular mentality, and you can apply it. And when you apply it, you're able to get the most cutting edge information on your show because you always looking for who's next, who's coming up. There's some guys on the come up behind me that's wicked.
Mm-hmm.
They wicked. They got You had Top Cat on here. Top Cat memory is phenomenal for them treaties and the
Uh,
laws, and he could like I'll be talking if when me and Top Cat do something together, I'll be talking, and then I'll mention something, and he'll call out the treaty.
mm,
All right, so now I don't got to remember the treaty. I just gotta let Top Cat tell y'all which one it is, and then make the information go by faster and faster.
right,
And then it's also it's an automatic built-in checks and balance system. Because people be saying sometimes I get a reference in the course of conversation, I might bring up a book, but they're not gonna hear it, right? But
mm,
if somebody cut you off and say, "Yeah, you can find that here," now they hear it.
mm,
Because when I first came out, I would tell everybody everything. "Well, I found this here, this here, this here," and they said, "Where are your references? I just told you 50 references,
mm,
and you talking about where my references at,
mm.
right?"
Yeah.
So, and that's another reason why I don't do debates because the
Mm,
references are also subject to scrutiny,
mm,
right? So we already going off what somebody else said.
mm.
So if you don't know the culture, when you hear what somebody else said, it changes what's being said to you.
Mm,
When you know the culture, it means something different.
mm. Yeah, it's hard to know the culture of 1920 and 2025. So sometimes we analyze 1920 from a 2025 perspective and we'll lose all the context to what we're studying or researching, and we'll analyze it from a 2025 perspective and we lose everything. And I think that that's what continuously happens with the study of history. Like, and I said this before, Rod. I've seen Kanye say it. A lot of people said it. I could talk, Rod. Listen, this is complete facts. Everybody say it. I could talk to some. I could argue with somebody today, December 4th. By December 14th, today's December 4th, right? By December 14th, there will be 60 different versions of the argument that happened today. That's in 1 week. There will be 60 different versions, Rod. So imagine 1,000 years. That story of what took place in 1,000 years. How altered the story is. So when you study history, it's like, nigga, if what I we can't agree on what happened a week ago, how can we ever agree on what happened in 1492 when Columbus sailed the ocean blue or whatever? So my whole approach, Rod, my approach with it has always been with a grain of salt. I listen to everybody, and my focus is to just basically, Rod, be the greatest version of myself currently, because you could get caught up in the ultimate rabbit hole when it comes to arguing about history, my brother.
You know, a verification of what you just said is how many versions of the Bible is it?
Mm.
Listen to the word version.
Yeah.
I didn't like the way he translated it. Let me give you my version, right? It's hundreds of versions of the same book,
Yeah.
and none of them don't say that. All of them don't agree.
Mm.
They don't all agree with each other. Some of them say some of them got books in them that ain't in other ones.
Mm. Damn.
Right? It's in the Lenape Bible. The Lenape didn't care about the Jews killing the Jews, so they made the Lenape the killer of the Christ. The
Mm.
church rewrote the Bible specifically for that group of people. Just
Mm.
like writing the slave Bible today.
Mm.
Same principle, right? So when we looking back at history and we holding everything to modern standards, we lose a sizable portion of what's being relayed in the information that we dissected.
Mm.
Yeah, even the Quran. When you get a translation of the Quran, which Quran translation do you got? Right? Who you believe? Why you believe that translation over this translation? Where's the original Quran at? Right? So when we start asking them questions, people get offended because you pushing up against their belief system by asking questions that they've never asked.
Mm. Indeed.
And that's utter muck.
Yeah. Mm.
And you just asking the question because that ain't your religion and you want to know about it. But you ask the wrong question and then you end up like Salman Rushdie on a hit list.
Right, right.
For writing the satanic verses.
So, so I want to ask you a question, Rod. In terms of, and I'm gonna do a show. I'm going to do a show, family. I'm going to do a show on the the black metaphysical community, or um black spiritual conscious community, and how it's become so soft. It's become too soft for for the truth, or too soft to grow. What I mean by that, every time I do a show like tonight's show, and I see somebody posted in the chat, and this is not the first time, if I'm not just talking love and light language, people will automatically say, this conversation is low vibrational. There's a lot of conversations. And I got to tell you, Ron is laughing. We're never going to get anywhere if we don't have tough conversations. If you don't have tough conversations with your children, they will never grow. If you would never have tough conversations, low vibration, if you don't have low vibrational conversations with your mate, you will never last. If you never bring up, hey, why do you do this? Or hey, why do you do that? Or hey, y'all will never last. So these are people that usually don't have anybody. And we need to really grow up. I don't know what happened with the whole metaphysical movement, where anything is like, oh my God, why are they saying that? Like, yo, it wasn't like that back in the early 2000s. I don't know what happened, but it's
Okay.
like that now. And we got to cut that shit out. There's a whole lot of tough conversations that need to be had in a responsible way. Today was extremely responsible. I know a lot of y'all wanted blood. We didn't give y'all blood, but we was responsible. And then
Now look,
go ahead, go.
this is where the disconnect came in.
Yeah.
Everybody was going through a period where it was all about the love and the light,
Mm,
right? But the problem came in when they forgot. The light came forth from the triple darkness.
mm,
The order came from the chaos. It ain't the other way around. And as soon as they forgot that part, it broke the metaphysics of the understanding of the love and the light.
mm. Okay.
So now they got a one-sided view of the love and the light. Just because you love your child don't mean that you ain't supposed to discipline them, right? Just because you love your neighborhood don't mean that you ain't supposed to clobber somebody for pushing that old lady down. Just it's a balance to it. And as long as you're trying to escape the balance of the low vibration and the high vibration, you the lowest vibration it is. Because it's a balance between the two. If everything you encounter is low vibrational, you're the only one common denominator. You go in places that's low vibrational because you carry the low vibration. And
Right.
you want to justify your lower frequency by challenging whatever it is as being low vibrational so you don't have to deal with it.
Mm-hmm. No, 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 no. That's facts. That is super facts. And like, yeah. So I just I'm gonna do a show on it, Rod. I'm gonna do a show. I'm gonna talk about it. What I want to ask you, Rod, a couple of questions before we get out of here, and I want the people to ask you a couple of questions as well. Yeah, I probably ask one more question. What time is it? Well, we've been on for an hour and 30. I'm gonna ask one more question, and then I'm gonna let y'all ask Rod a couple of questions. Then we're gonna get out of here. I think tonight is a Super Bowl, Rod. Rod, it's the Super Bowl, my brother. Come on, Rod. What we need to be doing? Tell me that. What we what we need to be doing, Rod.
If the moon is super, you should probably feel super.
Oh, right. All right. That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about. Hey, Rod. So check this out. So I know. Oh, let me put the comment up. That some people's gonna say it's low vibrational. We gotta have the conversation, family. Else we're never gonna evolve. Please, family. Let me see. Where is it at?
I first started out, I used to use a lot of profanity because that's the break in
Yeah.
the psyche. The profanity is the break. in the psyche. And people used to hear the profanity and they dip.
Mm-hmm.
I ain't want you here no way. I want the ones that want to hear somebody saying MF and F that, and we need, them the people I'm looking for. I ain't looking for the one that's
Yeah.
so holier than thou that you can't hear the word fuck.
Listen, Rod, Bobby talked about that. Bobby Hemmett talked about that all the time. He said, my curse words is going to separate who's supposed to be here versus who's not supposed to be here. And Rod, listen, I'm a move. Listen, I got plans because I see what this YouTube community is about when it comes to information and especially it's esoteric information. But yeah, Bobby Hemmett used to say that all the time. He said he cursed purposely for that. So yeah,
Yeah,
I hear what you
that's
said.
it's a break the algorithm. It's
Yeah.
it's like a stream of thought that people have when you use the profanity. That means you're not under the control.
Mm-hmm,
This
mm-hmm,
is why they always, everywhere you go, you can't use profanity. They made it illegal to curse around women and children. You can only curse in front of fully grown men who's emotionally stable enough to take it. Now ain't none of the men emotionally stable enough to take getting cussed out without it having to be some ignorance to it. You mentioned earlier about you and Blue Pill arguing. I
mm-hmm.
don't argue. I can't argue. Right? So I just sit there and shut the F up. I'm gonna listen to you while you trying to argue with me to determine if we about to fight or not. That's all I'm trying to figure out. Because if we gonna fight, I'm just gonna go punch you in your smack box. But if we not gonna fight, I'm just gonna listen to your lecture. I don't want to. We not finna fight. I'm just gonna listen to your lecture. I'm not finna be tongue wrestling with nobody. I'm not finna do that.
I, I totally hear you, Rod.
You know, but
Yeah.
everybody need, like for instance, I tell guys maybe asking me about I mean, I got this chick. The number one thing is if you in a relationship, your woman got to be able to say something to you that nobody on earth can say it to you without getting punched in the face, without it hurting your feelings.
Ooh.
The only person that's supposed to be able to talk to you any kind of way and it don't bother you is that person that you sleep with. If they can't talk to you and say something that you would find offensive somewhere else, and you try to find the meaning in what they saying as opposed to reacting, you ain't ready for no relationship.
Mm.
She got to be able to talk to you because she can spiritually see your blind spot that you can't see. And if you don't know how to tap into that frequency, you will always be at odds in your household. You will always be bickering at the top. Who the leader?
Mm.
Right? The man supposed to lead when you at war, the woman lead when you at peace. But that's as simple as it could be.
It's beautifully said, my brother. Oh my God. Beautifully said. Hey Ron, let me ask you. Okay, so somebody posted this. Give me some family. Give me some questions for Rod. We're gonna get out here in about 20 minutes. Give me some questions for the brother Rod. I really appreciate everybody who tuned in tonight. Like I said, family, I can only do things the way I know how to do things and what vibrates with me. And to me, it was a good idea to have Rod and Professor James Small on tonight. There was some things that I just thought Professor Small was looking crazy on the internet, and I want him. I got my platform is pretty big. I got 500,000 subscribers, and I'm like, I want him to come on here and just tell the people exactly what's going on. But at the same time, I want different generations to be present so we can have an honest discourse about the direction of quote unquote black consciousness in America. So I believe we had that to a certain extent tonight. And I thank Professor Smalls and I thank Rod Hayes for participating. It was very enjoyable for myself. And I hope everybody was able to learn something tonight from what we had to offer. And there will be many more discourses as well. Rod, what I want to ask you about before the people ask you questions, because I seen somebody had wrote this, and I know this is I've seen this said, and I've thought this. So some was it Lotus Scorpion? I'm assuming that's a girl with a name like Lotus. Lotus said everyone waving their flags and lineage is cool, but as soon as foundational black Americans follow suit, we're divisive. So this is what I want to say to you, Rob. I want to get your opinion. And so I noticed as a because so many people get offended by the word black. So let me say the word black. As a black American, yeah, no, a lot. The more they beat me up, the more they come after me, Rod. The more come after me. So as a black American, when it seems like, let's say, let me give you an example. Let's say it's the Olympics and the Jamaicans win a race, right? It's all about Jamaica. The flag comes out, it's all about Jamaica. I feel as though black Americans carry a sense of survivor's remorse where we celebrate, but we celebrate in the name of blackness. So we say black people, like we've seen Diddy at awards, and forget about what Diddy have done personally, but all our entertainers, when they get to the awards or when they celebrate, celebration shows who you truly are. When we celebrate, we always say black people. We always talk about black people, the fist. We're the biggest representative of the fist across the globe. Nobody else represents the fist like us. And we're always talking about black people.
Except one group of people.
Well, let me say this.
I'm not gonna get into it right now, but just go ahead.
But it seems as though now we're like, fuck that. The same way everybody, and this is pretending to the question. The same way everybody waves their flags, Rod, and nobody says, "Oh," like let's say, I got a lot of Haitian people that I got a Haitian piano teacher. I got Ella Say Marie. She's Haitian. She's on the channel. She represents Haiti big. Beautiful sister. She's a channeler. She does magnificent work in the community, and she reps Haiti all the time. It seems as though when people rep their countries, everybody just accepts it. And everybody's like, oh, that's what's up. Yeah, big up to Haiti. But it seems as though when a black American rep their, black Mayweather nigga, we the greatest at boxing. Hey, what? You niggas are being divisive. What did you just say? You're a black American. We're African. It's like when we celebrate our individuality amongst the diaspora, we automatically get thrown into the African category. So if we're good at making beats, well, the drums come from Africa. But if the Haitians get good at making beats, oh, the Haitians are genius. So it's like, wait a minute. Why do they get called Haitians? They get called